Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy, man. For today's video, we got a video about my man Hoops Reference, titled Grading Every Top 10 Rookie in the First Half of the Season. So I'm going to give you guys my opinions on these rookies as we go through this video here. I also want to say here, too, we are skipping a little bit ahead, about minute 15 in. Hoops Reference, link to his channel description below. Looks like the man is also starting a podcast. So, if you're into sports and all that, which you're here for, you probably like sports, right? Go check out this man's podcast. But, yeah, I've been paying attention to, NBA basketball and everything. So I know I've been posting a lot of videos, but I'm still watching the games, man. So, I got pretty good opinions here. Let's check this out.
As you all can see from the title of the video, we're going through the top picks in the draft and giving them a grade for the first half of their rookie season so far. So we'll start with number 1 pick Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic, and his grade thus far is a solid A.
No disagreements.
Banchero started
That's easy.
the season
No disagreements.
blisteringly hot, but since those first 4 weeks, he has cooled off a little bit. That's not to say that he hasn't been unbelievable for rookie standards, and he's definitely still the leader for the Rookie of the Year race, but he's also...
Would you guys say Banchero is kind of like a thick Carmelo Anthony? I don't know, I might get that vibe out of him.
More of the typical rookie inconsistencies.
Like power forward Melo.
He is without question a gifted scoring talent with an NBA-ready body that has helped him abuse mismatches, but he does need to learn to stay under control and pick his shots better because he does have a tendency to force some bad shots at times, and that has hurt his efficiency. Obviously, based on the grade, he is still very much having a great year, and the things I've been discussing are nitpicks, but it's basically just my reasoning for giving him an A and not an A+.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next, the second pick was Chet Holmgren of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who suffered an injury that has forced him to miss the entire season, so obviously we can't give him a grade.
I forgot he existed.
The third pick in the draft was
Jabari Smith Jr. with the C+. So Jabari Smith Jr. on the season right here, man, averaging 12 points per game. What else is man? Man shooting 39% field goal efficiency, bro. You're supposed to be Rashard Lewis. Man, I can't for Jabari Smith, especially, man, falling in the draft too and everything. I can't give him a C+. I'm going to give him a C-. A C-.
Junior by the
He's been below average in my opinion.
And the grade for the first half of his rookie season is a C+.
They need a point guard on that team, though.
Season as well, and Jabari's first month in the league was pretty bad, to say the least. So this grade as a whole is actually an improvement from that time. He came into the NBA viewed as one of the best talents in the draft, obviously, hence why he got taken in the top 3.
They need De'Aaron Fox.
So he had higher expectations compared to some others in the class, but he hasn't necessarily been living up to that hype so far. Jabari was drafted as early as he was because he was labeled as the best two-way talent, as someone who could shoot the lights out of the ball incredibly well from deep and lock up on defense. His shooting has picked up as the season has progressed.
Yeah, he might be a role player.
It's still been subpar, and while he has been good on defense, he hasn't necessarily been as good as the Rockets were probably hoping. Obviously, he still has plenty of potential, and there's plenty of time for him to develop into the player most were hoping he could be, but he hasn't quite gotten there yet. Next, with the fourth pick...
Alright, Keegan Murray, B+. Alright, let's keep in mind, man, this is an old head rookie right here like Kyle Kuzma. I would say, Keegan Murray, I said he came into the NBA as TJ Warren. I still think it's a good, solid player comparison, but I might say he's a Harrison Barnes type now, maybe a Kyle Kuzma eventually or something like that. B+, though, yeah, he's been nice for the Kings. He definitely has, fit his role very nicely with that squad and everything. He's not trying to be, the main man. He's just trying to be a man and a good man, So I think B+, that's pretty good. I wouldn't even say A-. He's been solid.
The Sacramento Kings selected Keegan Murray, and the grade
he just had a nice game. I think it was last night.
Season is a B+. The Kings have been having an exciting resurgence this season, and Murray has been playing his role perfectly.
Happy for him.
He's not a high-usage guy and is more often than not the fifth option in their high-powered offense, but he spaces the floor very well, knocking down 40% of his threes, and he's always ready to shoot when a look presents itself. Overall, he's averaging about 12 points and 4 rebounds
Chris
per
Murray.
game, which is good for a player in the role that he's in, but it's not spectacular enough to break into the A-grade range. The Kings were questioned when they selected him this early in the draft, but Murray has been silencing all of those doubters. And
yeah, honestly, it was a good pick for them because, once they did the Sabonis trade, that definitely put them in a more kind of mindset of, we want to bring in that veteran and stuff like that. So getting a more mature rookie they don't got to wait on, it was the right move in hindsight.
It's like a player with
a long,
productive career ahead of himself. Next, with the 5th pick,
Jaden
the
Ivy,
Detroit
B+.
Pistons.
Man, I do love me some Jaden Ivy. You know, it really, it's unfortunate that Cade is out for the season and everything. I really want to see this team run together and everything like that. But I do like Jaden Ivy, B+. I think that's a good ranking for him. I hope he stays in Detroit for a very long time.
Selected Jaden Ivy, and the grade for the first half of his season so far is a B+. Ivy and Murray were debated about a ton regarding who should have been drafted first, but honestly, they've both been pretty good all things considered. Ivy is having a productive year, averaging
good fits
about
for their
15
team
points,
too.
4 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, and he's
We don't
also
need Keegan Murray in Detroit.
It's the same kind of inconsistency
They don't need
that
Jaden
rookie
Ivy.
guards typically always experience. He's a playmaker with blistering speed, but with that comes stretches where he gets a bit out of control, and his inefficiencies aren't really much
He'll learn to
different
slow
than
down a
any
little
other
bit.
rookie guard throughout history. He will need to improve as a perimeter shooter over time.
That's what makes the really athletic guards so great, is that they know how to, switch on that second gear, but they know how to turn it back too when they need to. So they don't, pump the brakes when you get around the basket, gotta slow down a little bit. That's my fault on the basketball court. Also, I'm chubby and short, but besides that, man, like, I'll just, I'll get to the damn rack, and then I'll just miss.
But overall,
I'll just miss.
He's been very promising in the first half of the season. Next up is 6th
Eggs
Benedict
Benedict.
Mathurin of the Indiana Pacers,
A+.
and the grade for the first half of his season is an A. Mathurin has been outperforming all expectations so far this year, providing a lethal scoring punch off the bench.
He's the new
that
Danny
not only
Granger.
has him in the Rookie of the Year race, but in the 6th Man of the Year race as well. He's scoring about 17 points per game as an aggressive driver of the basketball who has the explosiveness around the rim to finish strong. Unfortunately, his jumper has been much less consistent as the season has progressed, but it hasn't held him back from scoring in bunches. And as I will continue to mention, rookie guards typically always come with inconsistent shooting.
They get tired. They get tired.
Up next is 7th pick Shaden Sharpe.
Shaden Sharpe. You all see Shaden Sharpe. I thought it was Shaden Sharpe at first. I got into it with the Grizzlies and everything, man. I was like, yo, Youngblood, what you doing, man? But no, Shaden Sharpe, he's cool, bro. I don't really got like any hate for like any of like the top picks at all, because these were all people I was really scouting when the Pistons had that what was the 4th pick or whatever. So it's been man, I respect a lot of these players. They're just I'm happy for them in their situations. It's all worked out pretty nicely.
His season so far is a B.
It's all worked out pretty nicely.
Was a mystery coming into the draft because we didn't actually get to see him play at the college level, but now that he's on the court playing regularly, you can't help but come away impressed with his potential. His role on the Blazers fluctuates game to game because he's one of the youngest players in the league, but his otherworldly athleticism
he might be Tracy
have
McGrady.
Created some incredible highlights this year, and outside of the big plays, he's genuinely been a solid scorer who can produce in bunches.
McGrady.
I still think he can be one of the best players in this draft class 5 years down the road, but for now, he's just a nice bench piece. Next up is 8th pick Dyson Daniels of the New Orleans Pelicans.
6'8" point guard, 6'7".
His season so far is a B+. This might seem like too high of a grade for a player averaging just 4 points per game, but Daniels provides in so many underrated areas that get glossed over by a lot of people. For one, Daniels has been a smart, efficient player who hasn't tried to do too much or force things.
Be like Michael
Second,
Carter-Williams.
He is far and away the
Rookie
best
edition.
perimeter defender in this draft class, and his defensive talent has been a very nice boost for the Pelicans bench that has needed to step up in the absence of both Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. He's been so impressive defensively that he has been trusted to close games on a few occasions.
I like his haircut too,
because the team knows that he's been their best option in that regard. Up next is 9th pick Jeremy Sohan of the San Antonio Spurs, and the grade for his season so far is a B-.
I like that he's bringing that little crazy side to the Spurs and everything like that. He said he wants to be a disruptor, and I like that. I feel like players like that, if you can keep the cool and you can really use it as like a mind game or whatnot, that's pretty cool. So I like Jeremy Sohan.
Sohan is another player who provides solid defensive impact already as a youngster, but offensively he definitely needs work. There are times where he shows off his promising court vision as a playmaker, but then there are times where he looks lost out there. His shooting is the biggest area of weakness.
He might be Ben Simmons.
Needs to improve, but he's been getting better
as
the season
he ain't Ben
on,
Simmons.
which is all you can ask for young rookies like this. And finally, the
John,
last
the commercial
we'll be discussing today is 10th pick Johnny Davis of the Washington Wizards.
The commercial.
And unfortunately, the grade for his season is an F. Davis is the one player looking like a potential.
That's why it's so important to be humble, because this man before he even played an NBA game, had himself a Taco Bell commercial. And Jokic, 2-time MVP, man, maybe 3-time, was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, man. That's the difference right there, man. That chip on that tortilla chip on your shoulder, baby.
Bust so far, because in the times that he's been given a chance, he just looks completely out of place.
Yep.
He was drafted
Got a little
because
ahead
he
of
was
himself.
a pure scoring talent who has struggled to score the ball at the next level. He spent most of his time down in the G League, where you would expect a
Trained with
scoring
Bradley
talent
Beal,
to dominate,
too.
but
Like,
he
come on
hasn't
now.
even been that impressive down there either, averaging just 12 points per game on subpar efficiency against that level of competition. And with that being said,
All right, that is the end of the video. You know, I thought these were pretty good grades overall. Like, honestly, like, Hoops got it down, man. I don't really got any complaints here, so that's all we got. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.